I am arguably the most powerful Pokemon there is in PokeMMO. Sure, I may look like Barney the dinosaur, but I rampage like Godzilla. There's a reason that Tyranitar, Salamence, and Metagross all got Megastones when I didn't. My name is Yig. My master tells me that I always had good potential, even for a Dragonite, due to the impressive stats I inherited from my father. Ironic, considering Dad was a Magikarp. Master says I got my lonely nature from my mother's side, a Dratini he bought from a trainer's market. I say my nature came about without his help. Forget for a moment that I'm a product of a Walmart purchase and the wimpiest creature there is. We Pokemon have always been passed around like playing cards, and then left to rot when our purpose is fulfilled. I feel no true bond with any trainer, and so I am lonely by circumstance. It wasn't always this way. Like every Pokemon, I started off with a desire to be noble and strong. My first clear memory is of the Master placing a hat on my head and saying it would show me the future. At the time, we were standing just outside a pair of double doors, and the Master already had a Dragonite following him around. Azathoth was his name, and Azathoth was a sight to behold. He fought first against a woman with Ice-type Pokemon, and I feared for him because I had an instinctive aversion to the cold. But he had a fighting technique called Brick Break that annihilated every one of the woman's Pokemon in a single hit. In fact, there were 4 trainers after her, and almost none of their Pokemon survived the initial strike from Azathoth. The next trainer, a big buff guy, had his entire team drowned by Surf. The next, a spiteful old woman, got her Pokemon raked apart by Dragonclaw. And so it continued until all 5 of the Elite Four surrendered. I didn't participate in any of the battles, but Master's hat made me feel every sensation of it, every rip and tear, every charge of battle adrenaline, every savage impact. It was like I was Azathoth, only the out-of-body experience stayed with me. It was the most intense training of my life. I went in with zero knowledge of battle, and I came out already on the verge of evolving to my second stage. Needless to say, my mind was blown, and I barely had time to wonder what the future would hold for me. In the next part of my intensive training, Master gave me 3 things. First, he swapped my magic hat for an amulet coin, which he looped around my neck. Next, he wired some sort of machine to my head, and he played me a simulation of the move called Surf, the very one that Azathoth knew. Last, he applied another machine, this one Waterfall. My moveset was now Waterfall, Surf, Dragon Rage, and Slam. And while he worked, Azathoth talked to me and explained that I would one day be just like him. Whenever he goes this far for a lonely, brave, or naughty Dratini, it means the Master has chosen you for a speed run, he said. Other Pokemon will participate, but you will be his most valuable companion. That sounds incredible, I gushed, but then paused as a thought occurred. But wait, how could I ever replace you? Surely you're the Master's most valuable companion. You will not replace me, he replied. Rather, you will have a new Master. That is the 3rd phase of your training. A new Master? I protested, shocked and a bit hurt. But I just barely got to know this Master, and his training has already given me such confidence. This is not your decision to make, nor is any, said Azathoth bluntly. Consider that amulet coin around your neck. That, not the Pokeball, but that, is the true symbol of all Pokemon trainers. They are hedonists who care only for material gain. Yes, you will become strong, but your strength is only a means to an end, the trainer's goods and wealth. Azathoth's words stayed with me, long after the trade with my new trainer in Hoenn was done. I saw firsthand how much emphasis the humans placed on goods, for along with me came at least 20 max repels, all of which burned my eyes to even be within proximity of. There was an Electabuzz, too, who was holding the TM Dragonclaw, just as I had held the amulet coin. Our new Master was called Runner, with a couple of Roman numerals following his name. Electabuzz scoffed when he saw them. This guy's got no imagination, he explained to me, from his Pokeball to mine. He called himself Runner last time, too, with only 1 number lower. You've been with this trainer before? I asked, freshly astonished. This is my 2nd run with him, Electabuzz confirmed. The Runner's changed up his looks a bit, but that'll be the extent of it. You're the new Dratini, then? Yes, I'm Yig. Wait, new Dratini? Electabuzz chuckled humorlessly. I see he's still fond of Lovecraftian names. The last one was named Cthulhu. The feeling I'd once had of being special was almost entirely dissipated at this point. I was simply replacing someone else. Sure, I'm the new Dratini, and I'm supposedly the most valuable member of this team. Yeah, no need to fear, you still are, responded Electabuzz in an annoyed voice. Until we part ways, the world revolves around you. It wasn't long before I felt another presence on the team. Hi, it cheeped. I'm Chick-fil-A, the Torchic. Who are you guys? Electabuzz burst out laughing. Congratulations, he cheered mockingly. You are now the living butt of a human joke, designed to gain him some attention. I'm Yig, I said, and not knowing what else to say, blurted, This runner guy isn't my real trainer. Chick-fil-A didn't say anything for a while after that. Then, with all the dignity he could manage, he said, Yeah? Well, I get along with him just fine, and he made me his starter, so you guys can just sit back and rot with your negative attitudes and let me handle the fighting. Electabuzz just yawned. Yep, he muttered nonchalantly. That's the plan. In spite of Chick-fil-A's ignorance and misplaced enmity, I couldn't hate the guy. His personality was honest, and he was a hard worker. He had a talent for taking down enemy trainers quickly, yet sparing a few hit points to wild Pokemon, which the runner would then capture. The runner never stayed in any route for more than a couple minutes. He would catch 2 or 3 new Pokemon and be on his way. After a while, this puzzled me, for the human never used any of his other Pokemon except for Chick-fil-A. When I asked Electabuzz, he replied in his usual detached manner. He's building his Pokédex for when he gets to Kanto. There's some lab people over there who will give him free stuff for having anywhere up to 50 recorded. That's it? I asked unbelievingly. That's all they're there for? Well, he may use a couple for the daycare, he replied. And now and then he'll probably use a couple as decoys in battle. What are decoys? I'll tell you later if you haven't seen for yourself by then. When we had gotten to a city called Rustboro, Chick-fil-A was on the verge of collapse. He very nearly did faint when he discovered that the first gym was a rock-type gym, but the runner just took him to the next grassland and fought trainers until he evolved. The change was revolutionary, for he not only became far stronger, but also gained Double Kick, a relatively powerful move for a level 16 Pokemon. That turned Rustboro Gym into a non-issue. The runner knew what he was doing, I gave him that much. He had better, because I certainly wasn't about to pitch in if he screwed up. Very little occurred between the first gym and the second. Chick-fil-A took down a petty criminal who'd attempted to steal an old man's Wingull from him. The old man proceeded to give us a lift across the ocean, since I was unwilling to surf for the runner. I remarked to Electabuzz how strange I found it, that an old man should care about a creature so common and useless as a Wingull. He's not really a human, Electabuzz replied. I know he looks like one, but he's part of another species that considers all Pokemon valuable. When you battle, you'll see tons of trainers just like him, using creatures like Poochyena, Rattata, Sandshrew. Let there be no mistake, Pokemon are not created equal. When real humans have tournaments, they're broken up into certain tiers of usage because they understand this concept. From then on, I considered the trainers of all underused Pokemon to be short-sighted and stupid. When I told Electabuzz, he laughed and called me some German word, then welcomed me to his club. I didn't question it.